When comparing the three codes, I would say that Coca-Cola is the most compliance focused. It's very strong on rules, conflicts of interest, and protecting the company from misconduct. While Dell is more values and leadership focused, which is what I like the most. It emphasizes integrity, speaking up, and like doing the right thing when even when there's like pressure to like succeed. Um, and Goodwill is the most mission focused. It connects ethics to service and dignity and community and people affected by the organization's work. All three codes are effective in different ways. Coca Cola gives structure, Dell gives culture and courage, and then Goodwill gives purpose. And in my opinion, the best code would combine all three, which is clear rules and strong values, and a mission that reminds people why ethics matter. For biblical integration, I would use concepts, like three concepts. Micah 6:8 says to act justly, love mercifully, and walk humbly. Proverbs 11:1 talks about honest scales, which connects to truthful records and fair business. Luke 10:27 says to love your neighbor, which reminds us that people affected by business decisions are not just numbers. And, excuse me, sorry, that was disgusting. Man. And, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. And my biblical test is does the code help people tell the truth? Does it help them resist the exploitation? Does it protect them from being vulnerable? Does it protect the vulnerable uh, and take responsibility even when no one is watching? Uh, Through that lens, Coca Cola is the strongest on honest scales, and Dell is strongest on responsibility and courage. Man, I'm sorry. And Goodwill is strongest on neighbor love and service. Even though organizations have codes, violations still happen because behavior is shaped by culture and incentives. Many people may know the rule, but they still feel pressure to meet targets, protect the boss, save a face, or even avoid conflict altogether. Another issue is fear. If reporting misconduct feels risky, uh, most employees will stay quiet. Uh, Leadership also matters. Workers pay attention to what leaders actually reward, and if a company says like integrity matters but rewards people who cut corners, the bro code becomes the reward system. So the simple truth is, a code reduces excuses, but culture decides whether people actually follow that code. The research supports the idea that codes of conduct are not enough by themselves. Roy and colleagues reviewed 89 studies on ethical culture and found that ethical culture um, plays a major role in ethical decision making. That means employees are influenced by the norms and expectations around them, not by just the written policies. Cabana and Captain studied team ethical culture and found that it helps connect a well implemented ethics program to fewer unethical behaviors in teams. In plain terms, the code has to enter the team's daily life. Like people have to know it, leaders have to model it, and the work environment has to make ethical behavior feel like normal. Uh, that being said, everything in mind, the code I connected most with was Dell's, and the reason was because IT workers deal with gray areas like all the time. You might technically have access to a system, but that does not mean every use of that access is right. Dell's code gives decision filters that help with those movements, and it asks us whether that action is legal or if it follows policy, even like whether it reflects the company's values or respects the stakeholders. I also like that Dell emphasizes speaking up and leadership responsibility. Um, that said, though, my close second would be Goodwill because its code keeps people and community at the center. But for IT specifically, Dell feels the most practical. Okay, so for IT professionals, codes of conduct matters because IT workers often have access before anyone fully understands the risk. You may have access to customer data, um, like company systems or even like private files, and that creates responsibility. But my role is that access is not permission. If the system gives me power over another person's data, safety, work, or even like their reputation, then ethics is a part of competence. An ethical IT worker documents decisions and protects confidentiality, like when they can. They also ask questions when something feels off, and they speak up early instead of waiting until a small issue turns into a serious breach. So to wrap everything up, the best code is not automatically the longest code or the most polished code. The best code is the one people understand, leaders, models, uh, teams practice, and systems enforce fairly. Coca-Cola brings clarity, Dell brings decision making, and Goodwill brings mission and dignity. And together, they show that ethics is not paperwork, it's how an organization chooses to act when choices get uncomfortable. So my final takeaway is a code tells people what the organization claims to value, but culture proves whether it actually means it. And here's my reference list for those who needed to reference anything. And that's it. Thank you.